The SMU part really, in some ways, I believe and I feel it's a return to really what I enjoy doing. And I told them at some point I really enjoy being an academic, being part of the academic enterprise, and this is a chance where I think I can really do more of that. And SMU is on the rise, and we all want to make a difference, and it feels like a moment where I can hopefully, along with the team, really help shape a real ascent. Jay Hartzell, president of SMU.
Does it feel normal to say that yet?
It's getting better. I still do think with the whole hand signal issue, make sure my hands do the right thing. But the president of SMU part's getting more and more customary.
So talk to me about your story, Jay. Where are you from?
Grew up in Oklahoma and was the son of a sports writer in Tulsa. And then he passed away when I was a kid, and Mom married a Methodist minister, which is now kind of a neat coincidence. He's a Perkins School of Theology grad. And then he got sent to Oklahoma City, so that was high school. And then, as the saying goes, I got to Texas as soon as I could. I came down here for undergraduate, worked a little bit, grad school, New York, and back.
Texas just always calls you.
It does. It does. It's home. It's a great place to live.
So your story, from an academic standpoint, you're a professor and then kind of worked your way up at UT. How the heck do you end up at SMU?
Yeah. So, the job part initially was just I have a hard time saying no. And I was a professor and just did things they asked me to do. And then at UT, there was a moment where the provost and president both left. And I joke I was the HUD secretary in the basement from that show, Designated Survivor. And they needed somebody to run the university in COVID, and I did it. And then, the SMU part really, in some ways, I believe and I feel it's a return to really what I enjoy doing. And I told them at some point I really enjoy being an academic, being part of the academic enterprise, and this is a chance where I think I can really do more of that. And SMU is on the rise, and we all want to make a difference, and it feels like a moment where I can hopefully, along with the team, really help shape a real ascent.
Huge difference between a public university versus a private one. Why did it feel a little sweeter on this side?
Yeah, well, I did joke yesterday. I talked to the student senate, and I said the last time I was in the Senate there were 31 of them, and they could cross-examine me. And here, you really feel like it's a little more nimble. In some sense, it's able to move around a little bit more easily. And so the hope is that will enable us to really move faster and move up more. And I think if you look around the country, a lot of the universities have really made moves, have been urban privates. So private universities in great cities, and I think we're the next case of one of those.
For you, when you talk about being nimble, I know you're still developing the strategic plan and your vision for SMU and its future, but what are some of the key points? What are some of the focuses? Yeah,
a lot of it's going to be on more great talent. And the student body here has gotten better and better. Faculty's been getting stronger, but we want more. And so part of it's going to be thinking about, from the student side, how do we design programs and experiences that really can attract the very best students around the country. And if they get an offer from one of those household name schools that they think they really want to pick us, because in that field or discipline or area, we're as good as it gets. On the faculty side, we're going to be looking for areas, problems, issues in society where we think we can say something that is helpful. And it's going to be partly where do we have some strengths, what are things around us, take the Bush Center or the fact that there's a Federal Reserve Bank, Y'all Street, these things that are happening around our context, those are going to help us make a bigger difference faster. And so we're going to look for those areas where we think we can really make an impact.
Jay, you're only the 11th president of SMU. You're a part of a very small fraternity here. Why do you think you're the best man for the job?
No, I don't know about best for the job. That's one of those, that's probably makes you sound a little arrogant. I think it's a good fit for what I enjoy doing. I enjoy finding ways to get people excited about what's going on, finding ways to hopefully bring people together and coalesce around an opportunity. And as I said, we all want to make a difference, and I'm hopeful that this is really a team sport place, and as a team we can really make a difference here.
What are some of the challenges that you see as someone who's been in university leadership, private, public now? What are some of the challenges and things that you're trying to solve for moving into the next few years?
Yeah, there are issues around, I think higher education right now, it doesn't take long to, if you're looking through the newspaper, to find places where it really is under consideration. People are worried is it heading the right direction? So this kind of public perception of where higher ed is and where is it heading, I think, is one of the headwinds. And that's also part where I think SMU is in a bit of a sweet spot. We've been in a good direction there, thanks to Dr. Turner and the team that got us to this point. But I think that's one of the things, is trying to talk about what we're really like and make sure that people don't come in with preconceived notions about a higher education institution. And I think there are going to be things around just continuing to figure out how to get the very best people to want to be here and come here. Reputations are sticky in higher education, and so when you're competing for talent against sort of the Ivy Leagues and the great private schools, part of it is getting people to say, this is a place where I can build, I can be part of something special, I can be part of this ascent. And so it's overcoming that kind of traditional bias about you have to be in the Northeast or on the West Coast in order to make it happen.
There's a lot of new here at SMU. Athletic programs looking good, got a new AD coming in. Do you feel like the freshman starting the new year?
I do a little bit. I've been thinking about walking across campus, pulling up my map. So I did mention to some of the freshmen that we're in this together. I'm only about 2 or 3 months ahead of you. And so I have a lot to learn, a lot of people to meet. People will give me the name of a building and I have to look up, where to go. But it's fun. It feels like they're kind of right time in my career, honestly, where this kind of shot of energy, of something new, a new set of challenges, enough consistency with some of the same kind of mission and goals, but enough difference that it's exciting.
You're active on the socials, as the kids say. It's obvious you really love engaging with students, and it comes across, especially in your Instagram, so you should follow them if you don't. Why is that important for you? It's why I went to grad school in the first place. I had a really great experience at Trinity as an undergraduate student, and really a professor there changed my life. I got to work with him, and later I hit this crossroads and called him back and said, what should I do? And he said, you should get a PhD, and then things unfolded. So I went back to get a PhD because I wanted to teach. And when you get into these jobs, you get pulled out of the classroom, and that's the bittersweet part. So I miss the teaching, so finding ways to get among the students, it helps you, it informs you, it helps you remember why you do what you do. If it's a tough day, the students brighten my mood. But the social media, I've thought about it, when I was an undergraduate, I'm not sure we all knew what the president looked like. And the social media, it's got some downsides, but there's a silver lining where I think the students can know, oh, hey, that's the dean or the provost or the president or the AD. We're more visible than probably ever before. What do you feel is the benefit of that in this day and age, even outside of campus?
Yeah, I think the benefit, I think it's helpful to feel accessible, to feel like people can have a chance to have a conversation. Part of it is we just want the best and brightest minds around the table to solve problems. And it's not, I don't have all the ideas. And so I know that by getting around and discussing things, whether it's with students, faculty, staff, alumni, Dallas, whatever it is, we're going to get to a better answer. And by feeling that, people feeling like they want to be part of that they can be at the table and we're all in this together, I think that creates a different spirit, and I think we're going to get a better outcome that way.
You're about 90 days in. What do you believe already that SMU does really well?
I think part of what it does really well is just the overall holistic student experience. And I've heard from parents and students about the classroom part of that. I think there's something still special about a relatively small class with a great teacher, professor at the front. I think that part is great. You walk around this campus, it's stunning. Part of how I've told people is you close your eyes and picture college and open them, it looks like SMU. And it really has that kind of special context to it. I love the arts and the sports. I've learned how strong the Meadows Museum is, for example. And so you get these things that are just really done at a high level in a way that's engaging. And so that whole set of experiences, I think, is what comes to mind.
I was going to get to that later, but I walked in here and the first thing I noticed was this room's been redone. And the art, did you help select it?
With a lot of help. I'm not an art expert, but I went over and, this is one of the cool things about a university. You go to the university museum and look at the art collection, and you get to go shopping. And so I got to go look at the pieces we had that were not on display somewhere, and the new deans and I and the provost were all kind of going through together, and I luckily got first pick.
So for families, we've talked about perception in higher education. What would you want families to know as their kids are considering, right, whether or not to choose SMU or if they do have students here already?
Yeah, one is we're going to, first and foremost, we do all we can to create a safe, caring environment for students holistically, whether it's mental health or the physical campus, all that has got to be a top priority. Then there's that special part about the academic side of it, everything from the professors and the students. I think it's a really cool combination of the heart of a liberal arts school, but with great professional schools around the outside of it. So you get that kind of best of both worlds of both pieces of that. And then I would say, the student outcomes from here are really great. And we're not settling, we want to make those even greater. But if you look at what students go on to do, whether, professional careers, their first job later, there really is a lifetime of value that we focus on and try to open up all kinds of doors for students to go out and do really meaningful things later.
Now you can tell me, how much are you looking forward to having a little more autonomy with your team here to kind of steer the ship at SMU in the direction you believe they should go?
I am excited about the idea that I get to work with the team and the Board of Trustees to really focus on the academic heart of the school. And you can pick up the paper just in the last few days and find stories around political issues in higher education, and we've got to make sure we do the best we can and keep the ball in the fairway. But it is a really great time to be focusing on core issues around teaching, research, our students, and I've been leaving the building, fired up every day.
Now, I know you don't like to talk about yourself. I've gained that in just the last few minutes here, but your inauguration's coming up. How do you think it's going to feel when you are officially installed?
Relieved. It's a lot about me more than I probably want, but at the same time, I've probably got this line in my speech. If you've only done it every 30 years, it is a special moment for the university. So the main focus I've tried to convey as the whole week is let's use the opportunity for people looking at us to celebrate what's going on here and to celebrate where we want to head. And so if it comes across that, wow, I didn't quite appreciate the role that SMU's on, and now I have a better sense of how to be part of that, that would be a win for me.
You have talked about wanting SMU to be kind of more present, more of a partner for the city and people around the city of Dallas. What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I think it looks like lots of things. We've been talking about trying to go out and we've got some great relationships, obviously, but we'd like to do more of that. And it's everything from if you're looking for talent and you'd like to have an intern or looking to hire a student, if there's something that is a sort of a vexing problem that an organization, a nonprofit, or a company faces, if our faculty and our research side can be helpful to help try to solve that. There are ways for people to come to campus and be a speaker in a class. We would like to do more convening, get really interesting people together, whether that's the business community, the arts community, that's part of it. So really the main thing we want to convey is we're here to help, and it's a true partnership, and what can we do, whether it's, again, talent or ideas or getting kind of network connections and hopefully making some really good things happen.
Jay, there have been concerns as someone who grew up here about SMU feels like really aspirational for a lot of folks and maybe less tangible. What are ways that you can maybe make it feel more real and more of a possibility for more of the kids who are growing up right here?
Yeah, and that's been a huge focus over many years, and to try to do better on that front. And I've been really heartened to see, as I've gotten sort of pulled back the hood, so to speak, and looked at the financial aid packages, that is an ongoing, continuing effort. Everything from trying to find ways to continue to raise resources for scholarships. The sticker price here is obviously high, but on the other hand, if you look at the net price that a lot of our students are paying, it's a lot more affordable. So there's a part that I think is sort of dispelling the idea that it's not affordable. There's a part that is trying to get more resources. Our philanthropic support's been tremendous in that direction. And then another part is just telling the story, and telling the story really starting with all of Dallas, not just the Park Cities, but getting out and helping people in the high schools and around know we want them to think of us. And this is a place where they can be successful, have a great journey, and then it's going to open up a lot of doors after graduation.
So you went boulevarding. How'd that go?
It was great. It's funny because people talked about it, and it lived up to expectations. It was really fun. I've done it twice now. Maybe a little blessed because it wasn't 105 degrees yet. But it was a blast. I can see why it's gotten the rave reviews. I am appreciative now that we're pairing boulevarding with really good football too, which I was not always the case here. But it's been a fun way to get to meet people, everything from the students to a lot of parents, alumni. Yeah, it lives up to it is what it's cracked up to be.
Did anybody feed you? That's the important thing.
Yeah, I think I tried, I think last time was a kind of a breakfast meal, so I didn't have as much, but the time before I had some kind of bacon wrapped meat jalapeno thing that was awesome.
So you obviously have tons of events, sporting events, all of it coming up. Likely going to be president here for a very long time. What are you most looking forward to?
I think I'm most looking forward to, you know, some of it sounds a little trite, but a lot of it's the people. You know, I get to meet really interesting people and some relationships that will form over the years to come. I have a lot to learn. I like to learn. I think you can't be a professor and not feel good about that. But I'm excited to see these moments when, and you know, you can see, this is one probably for Dr. Turner, where you get to sort of both look back and look forward, and you get a chance to say, wow, kind of look how far we've come, but we've still got room to go. And I think that's going to come in the next few years, and it'll probably hit me at different times. My first commencement, a chance to recruit somebody special to come, a student or a professor. But those are the things I'm excited about.
Now, when it comes to your staff, the faculty, the incredible professors here, obviously they feel some of those same pressures that we've already talked about. How do you encourage them? How do you keep them engaged? How do you keep them wanting to continue in that work?
Yeah, I think part of it is to make sure that we emphasize and celebrate that all the faculty have ways to contribute. You know, there's some whose primary role is focusing on teaching. This is a place that's had teaching at the core since its inception. That stuff continues to be important. And just kind of remind them of that moment where, like somebody did for me, you can change the course of a student's journey. And that's an important thing. And then on the research side, you know, the university's been doing better and better there as well, but a lot of it is to try to focus on be risk tolerant. If it doesn't all work, we got your back. But we want you to really try for the big, ambitious, hard stuff. And we've talked to them about, you know, maybe it's don't just do things to be productive and show that you're active, but wait for the idea, the problem, the insight that really might change the way we think about the world. And so it's trying to help them feel supported, but also bold and ambitious.
So when it comes to you 5 years from now, what do you hope to look back and say that you've accomplished?
I think the hope is to feel like a place that was really on the ascent is perhaps even more so. And I think a lot of it's going to be that people are sort of lined up together as a team behind this kind of shared vision that we're after, and to start to see the wins on getting some really talented people to want to be part of the place. If the student body continues to get better and we can really help get more, retain the top faculty we have, but also get more to come, if there's just more of that kind of, you know, brilliant talent here, that will look like a win.
For people who may not know you, what can they expect?
I don't know. I hope they feel like there's somebody who you know, cares about the place, cares about the students, loves the mission that we get to be part of, but that also, you know, we're here, and somebody who, you know, we can benefit hopefully a lot of organizations, parts of Dallas and beyond, but also we want their input, and we appreciate that this is a chance for people to get engaged, be part of it, and we're here for them.